Wait, what? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
Well, hello there, everybody. My name is Ron Ecstasy, and this is Blue Men Group. As always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Devin Welsh and Abby Fiscus.
Thank you for having me.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Everybody's doing well. It looks, everybody looks great. Everybody looks very tanned. We did a group tanning session. We went to a tanning booth together. We all sat in one tanning booth, and laid down actually, and then we all tanned. So we look very tan.
I was actually in the middle of the sandwich, so I didn't get any tanning on either side.
But your sides are quite crispy.
Yes.
Which looks good. So just first things first, I was trying a concept last week where I would decided to, share my audio with the audience, and thought that would be an interesting way to listen to the show, just hearing me, kind of no context listening. The idea was we were going to release Abby's audio and Devin's audio separately on different platforms, and you kind of have to make your own podcast at home with the audio.
There's a couple of issues though with my legal team allowing the rights to do the singular audio and everything. So
Right.
There were
because it wasn't put in the
holdups.
Yeah, we didn't put that in the contract initially, and it's,
Yeah.
we don't want to get the lawyers involved.
Right. And we also forgot that Abby's legal team is much stronger than ours because of the backing of PricewaterhouseCoopers, but that's maybe a concept that we could try some other time.
it is what it is.
Yeah. But anyway, we should get into it, to my favorite segment.
This is my favorite segment too.
Yeah, me three.
This Week in History.
1903. In Boston, the first modern World Series in Major League Baseball ends in victory for the home team. The Boston Americans shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-0, clinching the series
Wow.
5-3.
Baseball, old-timey baseball. October, it's the time for baseball, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful time for baseball, but yeah, this 1903, the first World Series, it's hard to believe that baseball used to be a new thing, something that people didn't really know what it was all about at the time.
Yeah. It seemed to potentially like an exciting thing to do. Maybe your friends like, hey, do you want to go to the baseball game? And you're like, I'm not really sure. I've heard of it. Is that a new comic book or something? Or a milk cap? I don't know what people did.
Yeah.
And then you would go to the game, and you may not even know like why the people are running or why there's a ball.
Yeah,
It'd be
what's
confusing.
going on?
They'd be like, why are they just standing there for most of the game?
Why did he stop running? He's standing on a pillow.
Yeah.
And it seemed like there was a time, maybe around this time, when there were so many new ball games being invented and coming out. Every year probably a new ball game.
New ball game.
And so your friend says, do you want to go see the baseball game? I'm thinking about basketball, or I'm thinking about, wiffle ball or whatever it was.
Yep.
Some of them
Hoopin' ball.
survived and some of them kind of faded away in history.
Yeah, I played baseball for a while, and it is a fun sport to play. Some people find it boring to watch. I don't know. I imagine when you didn't even know a way to play it back in the day, it was probably a bit more exciting to watch because you couldn't even imagine owning a bat or a ball. So
or
yeah,
a glove.
I guess this, or a glove for that matter. Yeah, this would be exciting to have a hot dog and and be at the 19-0 whatever it was World Series.
Someone behind you is kind of like humming a tune. They're making something up on the spot, like take me to the ball game, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Yeah, and then you're like, and it catches on, and it goes through the whole stadium. Everyone's singing it together by the time the game's over, and you're there. You're part of history. It's a beautiful thing.
What if we could travel back in time and play the hardstyle remix of that? I wonder how fans would react to it.
Yeah, like in 1903, if we could travel back in time with it, they would probably. I think everything could have turned out differently.
We play them the hardstyle remix and give them all warheads.
That would cause, untold sort of ripple effects, like a butterfly effect style through history, perhaps resulting in none of us even being born, which I'm not so sure about.
It might never catch on in Japan. World War II might never happen.
Yep. There we
go.
World
War I.
America's pastime.
The Japanese-Russian War.
Did you know that I was reading into this the other day that high fives weren't invented till like the 80s or something like that? So like even you could just pull out a high five. You could give somebody a high five at this game. And
they'd recoil. Don't hit me.
You maybe melt a few brains. or okay, so that and then the wave as well. Somebody had to invent the wave. You know when you're at the sporting event and one person puts their hands up and then it goes around the stadium, or that wasn't invented until like the 70s at San Jose State University. And there's another guy who says that he invented the wave at the same time. So there's a bit of controversy over who invented the wave. But I imagine Abby would like to bring the hardstyle remix of Take Me Out to the Ball Game with some warheads, a candy that kind of explodes in your mouth. And I think that's great. And on my end, I'm going to bring a high five and a wave. And I think we should do that before we drop the hardstyle remix and warhead thing, just to hopefully not kill anybody.
I want to bring a big stack of today's newspapers back to show them what will happen in the future.
Very nice. Well, that is cool. Baseball, everybody, get your glove, get your balls ready, and let's crack one out of the home. Let's make this episode a home run, okay? This is our World Series.
I just want to say I hate baseball. I think it's really boring. So,
Thank you,
with that,
and with that, let's go to another segment. What's in the news?
What is in the news?
Dev, that's a great goddamn question. There's a lot cooking here today. It looks like we're going to start out in one of the oceans.
Oh, that's 70% of the Earth's surface. Can you be a little more specific?
Okay. Let's look at the Salomon Islands. Do we know where those are? I believe that's in the Pacific, like Oceania, you would call it.
Zoom in on your globe, but not too much. Stay in the Pacific.
Right. Not to be too specific, but we have the Salomon Islands. Look that up. They are very tiny, beautiful flag. So they're right off Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
But it's beautiful over there.
Absolutely beautiful. So it looks like there's a few islands. There's San Cristobal. There's Malaita, there's Santa Isabel, whatever. You can look it up. Mm-hmm. You can look up those islands. Dev, take us to our story.
Okay, I've got an interesting story here. Men lost at sea 29 days say it was, quote, a nice break from reality. An interesting, a counterintuitive story here today. Men lost at sea. Well, they're happy about it. The well-fed castaways of Gilligan's Island couldn't have handled it better. Despite losing themselves at sea for nearly a month, 2 men from the Salomon Islands have returned from a harrowing rescue with a remarkably positive outlook. It was a nice break from everything, said Live Nanjikana, who set out with friend Junior Koloni from Mono Island on September 3rd. That's actually my birthday, so very auspicious.
Oh.
The
Wow.
Guardian reported on Friday, Equipped with only a small 60-horsepower motorboat and a sack of oranges for snacking, the pair planned a route headed 200 kilometers south to the town of Noro, New Georgia Island, within the Solomon Archipelago of New Guinea. A trip they've taken in the past, so they're not amateurs out there. But
Right.
when rough skies challenged their navigational system, the sailors decided to wait out the storm, turning off their engine to conserve fuel until they could resume course. But heavy rains and wind would blow their rudderless vessel off course and down their GPS altogether, sending them to float about 400 kilometers northwest of their starting point on Mono Island. Whoa,
Okay.
that's a long way.
That's a long way. Yeah. When your navigational system is challenged by rough skies, I think they're just using the North Star. I think that
Right.
might be their
So cool.
navigational systems.
So they're out there. They have best laid plans, and then the weather comes in. Suddenly, they're 400 kilometers off course. I think you can relate. It would be very confusing.
Yeah.
Nanjikana says, "We didn't know where we were, but did not expect to be in another country." And he would survive 29 days with Kalani, eating the citrus they'd brought, plus coconuts scooped from the sea and rainwater collected on the boat. So sounds like a
so
pretty
there's
healthy
coconuts?
diet.
Yeah,
I
there's
like these guys'
coconuts.
attitudes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
mean,
didn't know there's just coconuts out there.
that sounds delicious. It sounds like one of those cartoons you see of people stranded on a desert island with a coconut tree.
Yeah.
But
I
it's-
like the idea of being like, we're going to go on our boat. Should we bring some oranges?
Yeah. And then last minute decision. Whew, lucky.
Yeah. It's like, no, bring some chips. No, we only just bring the oranges.
They must be
Yeah.
gay.
You think so?
That
what makes you
Have
say
fun
that?
on a boat for 30 days and
Well,
leave the boat and not
let's see.
hate each other.
Let's see if they
Let's see.
get. Let's see if they get to that, because maybe they do have a survival secret. Wink, wink. We're not really sure, but in any case, this is a very healthy diet. I would say, much healthier than stuff that you could get at Walmart or your local grocery
Yeah.
store. So don't feel too bad for them. They arrived in
Oranges
the.
and cum. Sorry.
That's right. Well, that is not in the article, but we can assume that there was some of that going on as well. They arrived in the town of Pomio in New Britain, Papua New Guinea, on October 2nd, after their stranded party was spotted by a fisherman that evening. So they do refer to it as a party.
Yeah.
So they were partying on the island, spotted by a fisherman that evening, according to the Salomon Islands Broadcasting Corporation. And they've since been assessed by doctors and are convalescing with Pomio resident Joe Colial, who told SIBC this week that the men now, quote, live happily with us.
Whoa. So they just moved in?
Why, are these homeless people?
What does convalescing mean? Does that
I
mean
was going to ask that too.
fucking?
Convalescing
I
is
think it
like
means-
healing.
Oh, right. Yeah, healing. Right. We all heal in different ways. Right?
Sexual
Yeah, sexual healing.
Yes,
That's a
absolutely.
famous Marvin Gaye song.
These guys, I'm inspired by them. Like, since the pandemic, everything changed, and I feel like they sort of took that opportunity to become new
Reset.
again.
Yeah.
To just go where the winds took them, literally, and
Yep.
they are now continuing on that journey, and it's a wonderful journey.
Yeah. It's called a digital detox, and these men took a 29-day digital detox. No posts, no social media. Just, hey, turn off those notifications. No more emails for,
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, we're required, with these jobs, the global economy. We're encouraged to be working all the time in a 24-hour world. But these guys, no such thing for these guys.
Dude, I went upstate Sunday night. There was no phone service, no Wi-Fi. Even if I wanted to go online, I couldn't.
So you know
and
what
it
this is
was-
like then?
I
in a
do.
way.
I was going to say, I kind of relate to these guys. It is nice. And I
so-
look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, and so Nanjikana concurs, and we can close this story out with a quote from one of the survivors. I had no
good.
idea what was going on while I was out there. I didn't hear about COVID or anything else.
Wow.
I look forward to going back home, but I guess it was a nice break from everything.
Yeah. I don't know where he would hear about COVID out there other than his friend mentioning it to him, which his friend clearly maybe that was the thing. It was like, let's just not talk about COVID on our digital detox.
Yeah.
Can you look up a photo of these guys? Because
I would
seriously, I love my friends, but if I just spend 29 days on a boat with them, only with oranges and like ski coconuts,
Yeah.
Oh, so
that's them.
I have a photo up. You can look up. You're going to have to find this on your own, listener. Two men, they're both wearing sports jerseys, it looks like. One man has a San Antonio Spurs third jersey, it looks like. And the other man, it's like a cycling jersey of unknown sponsorship. They don't look that happy. They look kind of potentially upset.
They look like they could have fun.
But yeah, they can definitely party.
They look healthy and strong.
Yes. Yeah, they're that's a long trip. That's all I'll say. I'm just want to remind our listeners, if you are going to be on a boat out in the ocean, take a bit more than a sack of oranges or whatever, and plan ahead. Let some friends know. Bring your passport. I imagine these guys didn't have any passports on them. Not expecting to show up in another country, as they said.
You think they had like a book or like cards?
They had each other.
Yeah. How did they occupy their time? Yeah. Arm wrestling.
Wrestling, just in general, wrestling.
Just plain old wrestling. Yeah.
Grappling. They just
fishing.
grappled for 20 minutes.
How big is the boat, too?
Small. It has
not
a
very
60
big.
horsepower engine.
One has
It's
to sit
hard
on the
to
other's
believe.
lap when they're actually in the boat. So
Yeah.
It sounds like a cover up to me. That sounds like something happened.
What do you think happened?
I don't know, abduction or something.
Oh,
You're trying to tell me 29 days on a little boat, two dudes, only oranges. It just sounds a little fishy.
a little fishy.
well,
All they wanted was a little
Yeah.
fishy.
yeah, exactly. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's close the chapter on this island adventure and spin your globe to where is it, Ron?
We're going to Bosnia. This is Srbac, Bosnia. Abby's got a story for us. Abby was just she said she was up in upstate. That's a cover for she was over in Bosnia reporting for us. Abby, we got a story here. Do you want to read us the headline?
Why, yes. I'm happy to report chivalry is not dead. Bosnian man builds rotating house so that his wife has a diversified view.
Oh,
Wow, that's cute.
Beautiful,
yeah.
right?
That is beautiful.
How do you pronounce this city name?
I believe
Srbac?
that's Srbac.
Srbac.
I don't know, though. I have no idea. I'm just imagining.
So in Srbac, seeking to please his wife, who had wished for a more diversified view from their family home, a Bosnian self-taught innovator has built a rotating house, allowing her to watch a rising sun in one moment, passers-by in the next.
Wow.
It's really beautiful.
That is beautiful. And this is, again, something that you can look up. This news story is out there. Right now,
It's lime green.
we're seeing this lime green house. Very nice house. Very
It's like
nice
an
Bosnian
inverse
house.
strawberry.
Inverse strawberry look to it. We're inside the house right now, watching it spin. The windows are open. Not the greatest view, but it looks cool.
The house also rotates not too slowly either. It's
I know. I feel like I get
fast.
sick on that thing. And
Yeah.
what passerbys are they getting in a cornfield?
Yeah, perhaps tourists.
Unsure.
I think it's more the gesture than the actual thing.
It is the speed of a merry-go-round. That is true. It is like quite fast. You may want to take some medication so you don't barf everywhere before you get into the house.
I
Some
wonder
car
if it has
sickness.
a variable speed where it's like, honey, slow down the house.
Yeah, we're going too fast.
But let me tell you, complaining can really get you far. So according to Vojan Kusic, the husband who did this, I've gotten tired of her complaints and frequent refurbishing of her family house. And I said, I'll build you a goddamn rotating house so you can spin it as you wish.
Yeah.
He told this to Reuters, standing in front of his house, now that attracts the attention of visitors. So
Yeah.
I guess they do have passersby. It's called manifesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's,
if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
Yeah. It's situated on a fertile plain in northern Bosnia near the
Okay.
town of Srbac. The town spins around a 7-meter axis designed by Kusic, with the view of cornfields and farmlands changing to forests and the river at a desired speed. Oh,
Okay.
so it changes.
Yep.
It goes up
Oh,
to
yeah.
20 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
That is insane. Put a
I
helmet
made,
on. His
I made
wife-
that up, you guys. That's not funny.
That's okay. I don't care. I think that the wife should put a helmet on or a mouth guard.
It
Yeah.
goes
Call.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
It goes pretty fast. I'd say
Yeah.
like 15.
Well, he
But
he says here the house can make a full circle for 24 hours when it's at the slowest speed, while at the fastest spinning, it can make a full circle in 22 seconds.
it might actually be 20 miles an. So
Yeah.
what's that is
I can't do that math.
we got to
you-
figure out how
you-
big.
You do the math, dear listener, at home. We'll leave that challenge to you because it's fun, to calculate these
Yeah,
sorts of
it-
things. So
I hate math. So I will
22
not do that.
seconds, a full rotation, and it's a 7-meter axis. Okay.
And get this: after all her complaints and refurbishing, the wife had no comment.
The wife, yeah. Of course.
Okay.
No
Typical.
comment. She has no comment because she's about to throw up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's
Turned white.
She's against the wall and she can't unstick herself from it.
Yeah, it's like one of those G-force things
Yeah.
that the Air Force has, where they put you in a thing and then spin you around in a centrifuge at 100
He's really
miles an hour.
torturing her for complaining so much. Oh,
is.
you want to see more? Here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
think,
did it out of
I
he
thi-
did it out of spite.
I think this
Bit
is
maniacal.
like, this story is a wonderful case of be careful what you wish for.
Ooh.
A sort of spiteful
Yep.
sort of manifesting of that irony, because she was complaining, there's a terrible view, we should have put windows over here, and then he
like,
says,
"Shut up."
okay, I'll put the whole house on
Yep.
a rotating axis.
This is what you wanted.
Yeah. He used to be a DJ probably back in the day, but he would play like records at different speeds and stuff like that. He's like an experimental
Yeah.
guy. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's just like a turntable situation we got going on here. I can do that.
He's gonna get a second house so we can
Yeah,
mix
Exactly.
them together.
So he says that right here it says Kusic was inspired by Serbian-American inventors like Nikola Tesla and Mihailo Pupin. Don't know what he invented, but rest in peace, may he. And that coming from a poor family without the possibility of a good education had forced him to look for ways to make things by himself. This is not an innovation, he says. It only requires will and knowledge. And I had enough time and knowledge, he said, adding that he had built the house completely by himself.
So he says it only requires will and knowledge, and then he says, I had enough time and knowledge, thus adding a third thing that it requires.
Yeah, it's true. Didn't even talk about supplies, nothing.
Yeah,
No.
of
it
the,
requires
like,
hammers, wood,
Yeah.
He just had it all ready
electricity.
If
This
you
guy
wanna-
sounds like a real prick.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you want to credit time, you kind of need to credit space as well. Like he had enough space. So that's a little weird.
to go. Yeah, so it took 6 years to finish, except time off for a hospital stay due to a heart condition. It's the stress of living with his wife, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps.
And the house is more resistant to earthquake damage than stationary houses, he said. Now, that's something I'm unsure if earthquakes are happening in Serbach. If this is a thing, we should look into that for our next trip there. And he said, I asked doctors to try to prolong my life for at least a year because I have this project in my head and nobody will know how to complete it.
I thought he said it was easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about you, man.
Is he a genius? His knowledge is like the holy grail of spinning houses.
Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
only
he,
required will and knowledge. I guess the knowledge part is something that he feels others don't share.
Except maybe Tesla and Pupin,
Yeah,
his favorite Serbian-American inventors.
who are
Well,
both
that's-
probably spinning in their graves.
That's so true. Well, thank you, Abby, for that report and being over in Serbia or Bosnia for a while. Glad you're back as well.
No
and
problem.
I'm sorry that you had to deal with Vojin Kusic, who is just a devil of a man, and his wife is no hell either.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. It was a nice, change from Williamsburg, New York. The demeanor of men over there is just like a little more masculine. It was refreshing. It was nice.
Yeah, they're allowed to be that way over there, eh? They're can't do that in the big city, I guess.
None of those chemicals in the water over there.
Yeah.
It's a nice change.
Anyway, speaking of water, speaking of things that you drink, Ron, you have a very interesting story, an update on the Blue Men Group on running beer business beat.
Yes,
Take
that's
it
right,
away.
Devin. I'm over here at the beer business beat desk, and we've been keeping a close eye on beer consumption around the world for the past year or so. And, it was a huge lead up to the Tokyo Olympics. We're really concerned about beer consumption there, but now I'm focusing my eyes on Africa, and at Rwanda's favorite bars, forget the beer. Milk is what's on tap.
What?
So, yeah, milk, the stuff from cows.
Forget
Utterly
the beer.
gross. So milk is a favorite drink in Rwanda, and milk bars serve it up in abundance. Fresh or fermented, hot or cold. When you drink milk, you always have your head straight and your ideas right, says somebody in Rwanda. So we're actually in Kigali, Rwanda, and let me set the scene here for you.
Please paint a picture for us.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as the sun scorched the hilly Rwandan capital on a recent afternoon, a motorcycle taxi driver, two women in matching headscarves, and a teenager wearing headphones all separately sauntered into a small roadside kiosk to drink the only thing on tap: milk.
Wow, this is a wonderful lead, Ron.
Yeah, thank you.
That was beautiful.
Very well done. It reads almost like New York Times, but I know that you wrote it yourself.
No, I wrote. Yeah, thank you. I love milk, said Jean Bosco N. The motorcycle taxi. This is the longest last name I've ever seen.
Can you do voice to text?
John Bosco has a very long last name that is very difficult to even to pronounce.
Nishimiyamukiza.
Yeah.
Nishimi Yumikuzi. Yeah, that's right.
Nishimiyamukiza.
He's the motorcycle taxi driver I was talking about earlier. So he says, I love milk. As he sipped from a large glass of fresh milk that left a residual white line on his upper lip. Perhaps some of that cum that Abby was talking about earlier.
Whoa. This is a wholesome story. This is milk gives you the milk mustache. That's just what milk does.
Yeah.
We've seen it on TV. We understand this.
Wholesome whole milk. So milk makes you calm, he said, smiling. It reduces stress. It heals you. It comes from big titties. Now, wait a second, Abby. Did you just put that in there?
You're right.
I think Abby just threw that in there.
Oh, okay. I think that was an editor's note.
Yeah, a little bit of editorial there. So Mr. Bosco and the others were all seated at a milk bar, one of the hundreds found everywhere in the capital, Kigali, and scattered all across this small nation of 12 million people in Central Africa. In Rwanda, milk is a beloved drink. They've said this like 10 times. And the milk bars are a favorite place to indulge, combining the pleasures of the beverage with a communal atmosphere. You know what? There's nothing I like more than pouring a big glass of milk and hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
My dad's worst nightmare, lactose intolerant.
Oh, really?
I'd love to go to a milk bar and just hang out, have a few pints
of milk.
But
can I get some of that hot milk, please?
Yeah, exactly. You can have it in all kinds of flavors, but we've touched on Rwanda before as a place notorious in the beer industry, difficult to penetrate the market. It's a place that the beer industry has had to overcome a lot of hurdles, and we actually have done some work consulting on that, and it's a thorny problem.
It is. It's something we're trying to work on, that's for sure. We're just trying to introduce a few sips of beer. Everybody wants milk, that's fine. They don't. Yeah, it's difficult. So men and women, young and old, sit on benches and plastic chairs throughout the day, glass mugs before them, gulping liters upon liters of fresh milk or fermented yogurt-like milk, locally known as iki vuguto. Okay, so some patrons drink it hot, others like it cold. Some, respecting an old custom of finishing your cup at once, chug it down quickly, while others sip it slowly while eating snacks like cakes, chapatis, and bananas. So,
But the bathroom smells great.
yeah, I know.
So these people
I'm
are drinking liters upon liters of fresh or
gulping it.
fermented milk.
Chugging
it
fermented
down.
milk.
And then like the burps and farts after you chug a liter of milk.
And the smell of all the milk in the place.
Like
And it's
unfermented milk.
pretty hot down there, too.
Yeah,
hot
yeah.
milk.
Hence
I
the
know.
fermented milk.
Okay, so however they take their glass, everyone comes to socialize and unwind. But first and foremost, they drink milk. Lots of it.
Wow, so they do drink a lot of milk, that we're sure
Yeah.
of.
And they love it. So we have another quote here from Mr. Bosco, the motorcycle taxi guy. He said, "I come here when I want to relax, but I also when I want to think about my future." Milk. Who added that he drinks at least 3 liters of milk a day. When you drink milk, you always have your head straight and your ideas right. We mentioned that earlier. So while milk bars have popped up everywhere over the last decade, the drink they sell has long been intrinsic to the country's culture and history, as well as its modern identity and economy. It's a milk-based economy, I think.
Yeah.
This is giving me like kava bar vibes. Like when you walk into a kava bar and they're not drinking, they're choosing not to drink, and they're like everybody's working on their laptops. And,
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what I'm
but then
saying?
like
Like-
even more wholesome than the kava bar.
Yeah, because these people aren't like ex-drug addicts and stuff.
Now, I gotta speak for the listeners here. I'm not
Yeah.
in Williamsburg, New York. What is a kava bar?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what kava is in kratom?
No.
They're like
I know
herbs
kratom, yeah.
that like calm you down or energize you. But it's like there's one down the street from my house that I go to sometimes since I don't drink, and
Okay.
the vibe is just like different than bars. Everybody literally, there's like I see spreadsheets everywhere. People
Wow.
are like typing away and
Yeah, it
they're
sounds like a
chugging
milk bar.
kava and kratom. I see people will have like 4 kratom drinks while I'm there.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so
So I can
Yeah,
imagine that these milk bars in Rwanda would also be sort of hotbeds of productivity and creativity.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But has it historically always been so? The article says
Well,
during the Kingdom of Rwanda. Ron, fill us in on the Kingdom of Rwanda's history with milk.
Yeah, so over the centuries, cows were a source of wealth and status, and the most valuable gift to confer on a friend or a new family. So even royalty craved easy access to milk. During the Kingdom of Rwanda, which lasted for hundreds of years, until the last king was deposed in 1961. That's funny, we were just talking about that before we started recording. Cow's milk was kept in wooden bottles with conical woven lids right behind the king's thatched palace.
Wow.
And cows were considered so valuable, they ended up in children's names. What?
Munganyinka.
Valuable as a cow, or Inyambibwa, beautiful cow, as well as traditional dances where women raise their heads to emulate the giant horned Ankole cows. So
Wow.
we talked about Belgian blue cows recently.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
The extremely muscular, masculine cows. Now, I have a feeling that the Ankole cows, not muscular because they're milk cows. And a milk, you don't get your steak from a milk cow, is what I'm
Oh,
trying to
they're
say.
cute.
So we're looking
They
at
look like a
Absolutely.
Studio Ghibli animal.
they're
Yeah.
very, very horned up. Their
Yeah,
horns,
huge horns.
massive
huge.
horns. Huge.
Don't want to piss off that guy.
No. So, unfortunately, in 1994, Rwanda was the scene of a genocide during which an estimated 800,000 people were slaughtered within 100 days. The majority of those killed were ethnic Tutsis, historically herdsmen and rich in cattle. And cattle-keeping families and their cows were targeted by extremists from the Hutu ethnic group, who are mostly farmers. It's kind of something we have to mention there.
Yeah, wow. So milk, in any case, has been a very important and at times contested resource in Rwanda.
Yeah, and to bounce back, the government used cows to grow the economy and fight malnutrition. So they're distributing cows. Everybody is, the milk production is increased in the landlocked nation. And, so people are extremely familiar with these milk bars, which allows these farmers to sell their surplus of milk and let customers drink copious amounts of it to be reminded of home.
So, yeah, we're seeing the boom of these milk bars in Rwanda is a very good sign. It seems like the more milk they drink there, the better things go overall. And so we're glad to see it, that liters upon liters a day are being consumed by each patron.
Yeah, so I spoke with a man named Mr. Mumvunye. He's 29. He works in Rwanda's budding technology sector. He was drinking some milk, and he said that he wants to teach his children early the value of milk and cows, which is cool.
So, yeah. It's a place to kind of, raise your kids right, bring them to the milk bar when they're kids, and, they'll understand how important milk really is. Yeah,
so one thing that is a bit upsetting is the price of milk is rising. Liter milk at the shops in Kigali is increased from 500 Rwandan francs, which is 50 cents, to 700 francs, which is 70 cents.
So that's the inflation that we've been talking about. We're monitoring these important metrics, and Rwandan milk prices is another important number to keep your eye on.
Yep. So just closing, finishing this big giant, my second liter of milk here. Just want to let everyone know that Rwandans love cows and they love milk, said a guy who owns 5 cows. And he drinks 3 liters per day. The milk bar brings us together, he said, and we will keep coming to the milk bar to drink, guess what? More milk.
Woo!
So,
cheers to that. Let's raise a tall, cold glass of milk.
Oh, yeah. Just finishing so much milk here. Does anybody put ice cubes in their milk? Have you ever seen that?
No.
No, I used to drink milk every day, though, at dinner.
I know. Everyone did. Milk is out, though. Milk is not cool for Americans anymore.
Well, don't tell that to Kigali.
I know. I will not. But thank you very much, Mark. Ron Ecstasy, thank you. Thank you very much for that report.
It was very thorough.
Thank you. It was difficult to work on. Reading somebody else's, my writing from the New York Times. I wasn't published in the New York Times. Some writer in the New York Times wrote that, and we thank you for that.
That's a New York Times article.
That was.
They really push home their love of milk.
Yeah,
they really do.
The whole article was just about how much people love milk, I guess.
They got to drink a liter of milk every time they say, "I love milk."
Yeah. I don't encourage our listeners to do that. You will throw up, I think. Or it's like a gallon of milk. I don't know how many liters in a gallon, but if you drink a gallon of milk, you're going to throw up. It's something.
Got chills thinking about it.
Teenagers do. Wait till they find out about chocolate milk, though, because that stuff's cool. I like chocolate milk. Anyway, let's move along. That was What's in the News.
So what do we have coming up here now? What's our story of the week, Ron?
Dev, I'm very happy you asked, because this week we have the Willing Worker of the Week. So a trend that we've been seeing is that a lot of these gig employment opportunities don't really have any training method. You're kind of on your own. They tell you what to do. Go pick this up. Go do that. No training. It's a cost cutting feature of these apps, which allows these companies to put more money in their pockets.
Absolutely.
And we're now seeing that creep into other aspects of our life, like air traffic control. We've got a headline here from Tampa, Florida. Florida woman hacked flight system, cleared planes with maintenance issues to fly, police said.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. I think this is the kind of employee you would want up in that little air traffic control booth that people sit in. So a Brevard County... Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
A Brevard County woman is facing a string of charges after she allegedly hacked into the computer system at Melbourne flight training. Authorities first knew something was wrong on January 12th, 2020. By the way, that was a long time ago. When CEO of MFT, Melbourne Flight Training, Derek Fallon, no relation to Jimmy, logged into the flight training computer and noticed multiple things were off. He said the make, model, tail numbers had been deleted for 12 airplanes. Aircrafts that had been flagged as having maintenance issues had been cleared.
Okay.
That's a little mischievous.
An affidavit states, meaning aircraft which may have been unsafe to fly were purposely made airworthy.
What?
Thanks for translating that, David. Fallon also found inspection limitations had been deleted. Now, you don't do that. We know that is the last line of defense when you delete inspection limitations.
Absolutely.
So what did Jimmy Fallon's non-brother Derek do? He called the owner of the software, and was told there was no system-wide problem. They gaslit him. They lit his wick. It was ready to be lit.
Is it a gaslighting if it's true?
Unclear.
I just wanted to say the word to hopefully people would give me some credit or something. Fallon instructed all flights to be grounded until the information could be restored. So he's like, hey, get down here. You.
What an annoying day.
Ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this lady should be in jail.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's keep reading. So between the time the data was altered and fixed, it was a situation that could have endangered human life, Fallon wrote in a sworn affidavit.
Okay. I want to hear the other side before I make my decision.
So Fallon identified two suspects. A man who had been the director of maintenance for MFT before being fired in November of 2019, and his daughter, Lauren Lead, 26, who resigned from her job as flight operations manager the same day her father was fired. So this is some family stuff leaking into the airspace.
This is Shakespearean, I think, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
There's revenge, there's family drama. It's where is this heading? I'm not sure, but let's find out.
So investigators found that a login belonging to the current flight operations manager was used to make the dangerous changes in the flight software. However, the current flight operations manager signed an affidavit saying he did not modify or delete aircraft information. So a lot of affidavits flying around.
Yeah, he's writing and signing affidavits like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just drowning in them.
It's a lot. So investigators determined that the IP address used to log into the software belonged to Lauren Lead's father. Lead's father stated he didn't have a clue why his computer had been used to access the MFT computer.
Likely story.
Yeah. Pressed on if he knew anyone that would want to sabotage the computer information, he said, I'm kind of concerned about my daughter at this point. Wow.
So you did have a clue.
He threw her under the Airbus.
He perjured. He perjured.
Lead's father stated that Fallon made his daughter miserable and lied to her. Gaslighting.
There's the gaslighting. He lit her wick.
Yes. She couldn't wait to get out of there, he said. According to an affidavit, you guys don't understand the torment he put her through.
This guy is one of the most prolific affidavit writers in history, perhaps.
Of our era, yeah.
He only communicates through affidavits.
What is an affidavit?
I don't even know. It's like a legal affidavit.
It's a very strange word spelled. Okay.
Affidavit.
Okay.
Affidavit.
A written
Affidavit.
statement confirmed by oath or affirmation for use
Oh.
as evidence in court.
So it must be true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It has
Otherwise,
to be
he's in
true.
big trouble.
So it sounds like this dad guy, the dad, he's no good. I think we think that the
Fallon?
father's bad. No, Fallon's trying to figure out the
Fallon.
story, and then
But it says Fallon made his daughter miserable.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
Fallon. Fallon is the bad guy here.
Oh,
Fallon is
I'm
gaslighting.
yeah. Okay, I'm getting yeah. Okay, sorry. So Leeds' father stated Fallon made his daughter miserable and lied to her. She couldn't wait to get out of there. He said the torment. So Leeds' father finally confessed to sabotaging the computers, but police say he was unable to say what he did or how he did it.
Ah, okay.
That's such a fatherly thing to do. I like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So detectives determine Lauren Lead is one of the only a few people in the area who had knowledge, skills, or ability. Those are the things that our friend in Bosnia also
Yeah,
had.
the spinning house. These are the secrets to life, people. Listen up.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was the only
She
one.
had time too because she quit
Yeah.
her job.
Yeah.
And space.
Space, the whole airspace. So she was the only one who had the skills and ability and knowledge to alter the flight records. So she has been charged with accessing a computer electronic device without authority and modifying computer data programs without authority.
So just
You
give
know
her
what
the
I gotta
authority.
say, Lauren? I hope it was worth it.
Yeah.
I hope this bitter revenge was worth it.
Is it?
I think
though?
it
Is
was.
it ever?
I mean-
is it ever worth it?
Was anyone
I
hurt?
don't think it is.
Was anyone hurt? That's all I have to say about it.
You know what's hurt? The reputation of flying. Because now there's the fear that
Yep.
unsafe planes are going into the air thanks to this woman's grudge.
Lauren Lead. Yeah.
Well, these
we will
pilots these days, I think, they like to complain a lot, and I think, the older pilots back in the day, they were willing to take risks, and I think,
Yeah.
Lauren Lead understands that. She understands, the romanticism of flight.
Yeah, I kind of tuned out of the idea of flight once pilots stopped wearing those leather Snoopy helmet things with goggles on. I never see any of my pilots whenever I'm on a plane wearing goggles, and that I just like, where's the professionalism in that?
They have windows now.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I guess, yeah.
All right, so that was the willing worker of the week, just trying to do some work off hours.
She's not a willing worker. She quit her job.
Well,
Again, that was the
listen.
willing worker of the week. Somebody willing to do. She did quit her job. We will be potentially having a fourth co-host next week. Lauren Lee will be calling in. It's going to be an expensive episode. We're going to have to pay for that prison phone thing that the guy who owns the Detroit Pistons owns. You should look that up. Yeah, so that was the willing worker of the week. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on that little excursion up in the air in the air traffic control booth. Actually, it's only like 60 feet up in the air, to be honest. So it's easier to see the planes from up there," said Lauren. But before we go, we have to check into last week's numbers.
Wow, I'm so excited to see what the numbers are. After that experiment that Ron tried, I'm a little nervous that the numbers are going to be down. Listeners may have been turned off by something unexpected, and I'm hoping that's not the case, but we'll see.
Yeah, it was okay. We're tanking right now. We're absolutely tanking. I think we had the lowest number of all-time listens on last week's episode that I thought was
Yeah.
extremely funny. Devin worked very hard on it, and Nobody listened. 66 first week listens. That's seeing some numbers that we used to pull around episode 12 or something like that. But
yeah, so yeah, we're not doing too well this past week.
Got people.
I keep saying that you guys should post about it.
That's true.
That's true. Hi, Abby.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten it together to all post about it. You, dear listener, should post about it, though, on your social media channels, and we will follow where you lead, and we at the Blue Man Group will attempt to post the episodes ourselves as well.
If you share this episode, Ron XXC will send you a selfie.
Yes, I will send you a selfie to your DMs, a photo of me. I will whatever you want. I will do. just please download the podcast or something. No,
just download the podcast.
Just download the podcast. We all-time downloads are at 6,429. I would like to get that up. I want to see 6,700. That is kind of what I'm thinking. That's a lot, but it's a reach goal. We call those reach goals in the biz. Listen, we can't do it without you, the listener. Just always lending us your ears. We love coming together to do this, and God, just love you guys.
And with that said, we love you so much, and please tell somebody about it. We'll send you any photos that you want
of me,
of Ron Ecstasy.
And it's getting to a point where we really need some help here. All right, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week. Devin, Abby, you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.